What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Vashti Denise, and I am here with another Beyond the Gates weekly update. It was definitely an interesting week. Some things have transpired. Let's talk about it. Leslie's main goal since we've met her on the show was for her to connect Eva with her father, Ted. Now that it's happened, I can bet you that she never envisioned that she would be outside of the family portrait. So much so to where her delusion is just driving everything that she's doing at this point. She showed up to Eva's apartment unannounced and uninvited, a morning where Ted had already scheduled to spend time with Eva. They were having a cute little morning. He got her breakfast. They're kikiing. They're having a good time. And there's a knock at the door. And who is it? Miss Dana Leslie Thomas, of course. Now she makes it seem like, oh, what a coincidence. Teddy Bear's here. When really she knew that he was going to be there the whole time. Eva burst her bubble immediately. Like, girl, I told you yesterday that he was going to be here and there was no need for you to drop by. So this whole, oh, what a coincidence is not a coincidence. It's another scheme set up by Todd, aka Leslie. Okay, she thought she was slick. And the thing is, Eva is not down for her antics when it comes to getting with Ted anymore. She laid on the flirting so thick, and Ted was already annoyed that she called him teddy bear and had her little flirting moment while he was on the phone with Shanice, because we already know how insecure Shanice is, and it just takes one trigger for her mind to start reeling about Leslie and everything. Not saying that Shanice's insecurities are inaccurate. Like, yeah, it's definitely warranted. His relationship with Leslie is weird for sure. But Ted tried to really lay down the law and tell her, like, yo, don't call me teddy bear no more. And I mean, please, because we all cringe every time she says it. And it's not going to be anything romantic. It's never going to be anything romantic. And I swear, every time he talks to her straightforward, it goes in one ear and out the other. Leslie only hears what Leslie wants to hear. And Ted was so fed up that he dipped once Eva said, I'm going to go take a nap. Like, y'all can both go. And Leslie thought that she was going to stay around. When Ted left, Eva gave Leslie the business. She was like, I will not tolerate you creating a wedge between my father and I when we just like created a bond. And she's right. She's just got a stride with Ted, and their only wedge and problem really is Leslie. Like, Leslie's going to have to step aside, or Eva may have to choose between parents, and it may not be her. Eva setting that boundary with Leslie really did show that she's growing up and she's realizing that Leslie's way is not the only way. She's finally getting comfortable in her own skin and starting to make decisions on her own. And that scares Leslie to her core. It's obvious that Eva is all that Leslie has. Now, I don't know where Peaches is. She said that Peaches was in a nursing home somewhere. She may need to do some more visits, because obviously Eva is completely over the relationship that her and Leslie previously had. She doesn't want Leslie popping up into her apartment. She don't want them to go on these sprees together. Like, she's like, we can have mother-daughter time, but I got other things to do. I got my man, I got my daddy. I'm trying to get healthy. Like, but ever since Eva went through that health scare with her liver, Leslie has definitely been on edge, and you can see it. It definitely showed her like Eva really is all that she has. And now that Eva wants some space, especially when it comes to building her relationship with her father, Leslie is stuck with, well, where do I go? I had a drop, just a drop of sadness for Leslie when Eva kicked her out, because she really did feel like, dang, my own daughter don't want me around. But whose fault is that, girl? It's yours. She's constantly pushing Eva away with all of her evil antics, and it's going to keep going unless she gets her act together. She needs some new friends. She needs some actual friends. Maybe she needs to go call Jan because Jan is the only one that has stomached her for a while. I mean, Mona is completely out. And she's really desperate for a friend, a companion, a partner, something. And Eva even pointed out, like, why are you coming for my dad when you got a man? You got Malone. But Leslie has reminded her, just like she reminded Malone when Malone started to get a little excited about them, Malone is not the end all be all. Ted is. She's just having her fun. Of course, she loves taking a man from his woman. So the fact that Malone was still somewhat married when they got together, that was a fun little tidbit. But now that he's fully divorced and single, he's unappealing to Leslie now. So she really could not care less where Malone is. And she's back to her factory setting, which is her teddy bear. Poted. I don't know what he gonna have to do to get rid of her, but she really needs to get a new group of friends. She tried once again to reach out to Haley and give her a hand of friendship, but Haley is not with it. And of course, Leslie just has the worst timing. She rose up on Haley after Haley just had another bad conversation with Bill. Bill just told her that he's still at work and he's not gonna make it to lunch nor dessert. She just had a run in with Danny, and here come Leslie talking about, girl, I told you we need to be friends. We having the same man problems, which is once again a drop of her Delulu because Haley is married to Bill. Okay, even though it's fake from her to Bill, it ain't fake from Bill to her, and it's still nowhere near what Leslie and Ted have, which is disdain. They don't have a relationship. Ted is not checking for her, nothing. But in her brain, she's like, oh, he's just playing around with that little nurse. That ain't nothing. He gonna come back to me when he's ready. Ooh, Leslie really be off her rocker sometimes. And Haley wasn't having it, okay? Haley was like, not today. She's definitely been in a boxing match with the Dupree women for the whole week, okay? Chelsea and Naomi and Kat laid into her about getting a facial while Bill was at work when he was supposed to be checking himself back into the hospital. We'll get into all that. But this whole friendship, I mean, Haley wasn't with it, but low key, it's probably the best thing that can happen to the both of them. Okay. They are both social pariah when it comes to Fairmont Crest. And nobody is even believing that Leslie is trying to turn over whatever this new leaf is. So her being friends with Haley really does make the most sense. But Haley ain't having it. Okay. She straight up told her, the next time you see me, go the other way. Like, don't be coming over here. Every time I see you, you try to come around and make it seem like it's a conversation. It's never a conversation, girl. Please dip. Leslie was over it. She was like, oh, okay. Well, since we're not friends, you are now my enemy. And watch your back because people that cross me, they already know. Dot, dot, dot. And we already know she was talking about, Laura. She talking about how she tried to get Nicole. She just talking about anybody could get it. And in that moment, Haley disappeared and Val showed up. Val hit her with the girl, don't dish it, okay? Because I could take it and give it right back. I ain't scared of you, period, okay? Val popped up out of her. She wasn't, she said, Haley too cute right now. No, Val said, get up out my face. So them being enemies might actually be a little more fun than them being friends. Haley got it from all sides this week. And you know what? As she should. Okay. It's definitely on her that she been giving Bill these sugar water drops and he is slowly declining. And when I say slowly, I mean very slowly. Okay. He's been dealing with this mess for months and him having that scare when he was in the deposition for Madison's court case was a ring of victory for Haley, but very short lived. Okay. She's obviously annoyed with the fact that it didn't take him out. She took Randy to lunch and thought that this was the time. It's happening. Like the drops are happening. And once again, it was not. Okay. To the point where he checked himself out of the hospital. That man woke up that morning and said, you know what? Nope. I'm done. Y'all took y'all test. Y'all observed me overnight. I'm not staying here 1 second longer. He didn't even put on a sweatsuit and go back home. That man put on a full suit and went to the office. Now, Madison and Chelsea ran into him on the way out of the hospital and tried to convince him to stay. That didn't work. So, of course, Chelsea called Haley and was like, yo, can you convince him to like at least take it easy or come back to the hospital? Of course, she did neither, right? She went to him and turned on her usual charm and said that he was Superman and they'll figure it out together, which really meant Bill would keep doing what he wants to do and Haley will just keep watching the clock until he's gone. And she was totally fine with that until she went to that club for a facial and ran into Kat, Naomi, and Chelsea, and they laid into her. Okay. They told her, girl, you wanted this marriage and you over here playing around. You're supposed to be taking care of my dad. Like, what's really going on with that? And I mean, they were real. Like, they're obviously afraid for Bill, and Bill is not taking any of his health seriously right now. He's just really, I mean, so gung ho to work and prove that he's fine. And I'm not fully understanding why, to be honest. Now, I have a friend, and her theory is that Bill is broke. Her theory is that Bill no longer has the money that we think that he has, and he's trying to keep Haley happy, which is why he hasn't told her, but it's going to show up at some point that he needs money. And that kind of makes sense because why is he so gung ho to work? I mean, he literally left the hospital not to go home and rest, but to go straight to the office. I thought this was his law firm. I thought he was the one running things. Why is it so serious for him to be at work? Y'all hit me in the comments and let me know how you feel about that theory. Honestly, I don't think it's too far fetched, right? Like, let's really sit and think about it. Bill is supposed to be a self made lawyer. He didn't come from money like the Duprees. Vernon was very heavy in making sure that his law firm became successful. Vernon and Danny. Danny bought the building for him to where his law firm is thriving at this day, to this day, right? So could it be that Bill has just been too reckless and now he's running out of the main capital that he thought he had? I mean, he threw all of that money to Madison's Parkinson's study. He has been letting Haley live this lavish lifestyle. Haley has been ciphering money from him, periodically. Who knows how much she gave to Lynette when Lynette was blackmailing them? Like, he just bought that house for them in St. Bart's. He's made some big purchases, right? So is it too far-fetched to say that he may be out of money? I don't know. I recall when Danny and Andre first got married, how Bill was so determined to find a prenup of theirs, and he made it seem like, oh, it was so big to make sure that the girls, got their inheritance and Andre wasn't in the way of that. Are you sure? Or were you hoping that at some point you and Danny would get back together and then that money would be yours again? Hmm? I don't know. I don't know. Y'all let me know. Like, Bill moves like he got buku money, but the way that he jumped up out of that hospital to make sure that he was in that office. And I mean, we all know that Bill has a huge ego, right? Like, his ego is definitely eclipsing the sun. So I can understand him wanting to get back to work just to prove that nobody can ever take his spot, right? But is that it? Is that enough for him to go against his daughters and even the doctors that say, like, we would love to observe you a little more, like, we're still not sure what's going on with you? I don't know. I don't know. And did y'all peep how when Haley was telling Randy that the drops were working and he was like, sure. I think Randy gave her sugar water drops. I think he knows that he didn't give her real poison. So every time he's entertaining these conversations about Bill declining, he's laughing in his brain because he definitely has something going against Haley. I don't know what yet. Y'all let me know in the comments if you know. But what is it? And of course, the drama continues with this bunch. Bill and Annie are still keeping their secret about how they slept together in that elevator during the tornado. And it is obviously eating Danny alive, okay? She and Andre have been having some problems because she's been deflecting to everything, the BRCA gene, Naomi's diagnosis, all of these things, instead of telling Andre the truth that she slept with Bill, right? So he's still in the dark and he's been having all of these alluding conversations with everyone about how love is not, some simple cliche. There are obstacles, but he constantly says how he loves her no matter what, right? Bill and Danny both decided that they would not tell anyone about what happened. And Danny definitely drilled it into Bill that she did not want him speaking of anything of the sort around anyone. So, of course, it was to his surprise when Haley told him that Danny approached her in the club. And in the moment of her trying to reprimand Haley for being a horrible wife to her aging husband. A valid conversation, because obviously Danny thought that she's just happy with her being Bill's young tenderoni, right? Well, she straight up said to Haley that she would no longer be sexing Bill again. Because she went up to Haley and was like, "Oh, you knew that your husband would be declining at some point, and you were just so gung ho to get him in your bed, and now you running around and not taking care of him." And Haley, she loves a clap back, and it was good too, because she was like, "Oh, well, you're right. Maybe I should slow down. I'm giving him a little too much of this young tenderoni. He can't even take it. Let me calm down and make sure that my man is good, right?" And Danny comes back with, "Well, you give him everything because I ain't doing it no more." And Haley straight up called Bill and was like, "What's that about?" It made it seem like y'all did something recently. And so, of course, Bill goes straight to Danny. And instead of saying, like, "Hey, don't talk to my wife, da da da," he said, "Oh, so you trying to blow up both of our marriages? Or you trying to keep this secret going? What's good, Danny?" And she already cat got your tongue. Like, it's crazy the hold that Bill has over her. Like, she really needs to get it together. But Bill, he just loves the game. He just loves playing the game. A mess. Danny did get some wise words from her friend and business partner Pamela, who straight up told her, like, "Girl, the Bill and Danny story needs to be done." I love how she said, "Close that book, that keep that book closed. Even though the cover is pretty doesn't mean you have to keep opening it." And I mean, that's real. Like, you can tell that Danny is obviously still attracted to Bill, but at the end of the day, he treated her so bad that should be enough for her to never want to go back to that again. Now, Pam, in her way, kind of gave Danny an out when it came to sleeping with Bill, saying, like, "Oh, you ran back to your default settings. Y'all have kids together. Y'all have history. That stuff doesn't fully go away. So you can't blame yourself for the sex. Like, just zoom out a bit and look at the big picture. You ran to you ran into his arms in a moment of crisis. That doesn't make you a bad person. That's not the justification for Naomi having the BRCA gene, because of course everything is about Danny, and Danny thinks that, oh, me sleeping with Bill, my karma is that my child now has the BRCA gene. Girl, please take yourself out of this equation, girl. Naomi having the BRCA gene is not your karma. And of course, she's scared for Naomi and doesn't want her to go through what Gran went through, what Anita went through with cancer. But at the end of the day, like, no, the two things are not connected at all, right? But, obviously her talking to Pam gave her a little bit more confidence. But I think ultimately Danny is going to have to tell Andre in order to soothe her conscience and for them to move past it. Because she's not going to be able to let this go. And if she ends up sleeping with Bill again, their marriage is a done deal. I mean, Andre is really in love with her, so he may forgive her for this slip up, seeing as it was in a crisis moment and things happen, although they shouldn't, but they did. But if she sleeps with him again, like in just regular fashion, yeah, he's out of here. He's out of here. And rightfully so. Like she don't even deserve a second chance, okay? Or a third chance or a fourth chance. I'm just so disappointed in Danny. And I get it, in the soap opera world, there's somebody that's got to be longing for somebody, some type of unrequited love or whatever. But we've seen how horrible Bill treated Danny, and to see her go back is just heartbreaking. While Bill was in the hospital, he begged Naomi to go to his office and kind of like keep an eye on the law firm while he was in there. And there was pushback. We know that Naomi does not want to work for Bill, let alone be in his law firm. But because he was in the hospital, it's her dad, she was like, all right, fine. So she goes to his office to handle a few things. While she's in his office, sitting in his chair, typing on his laptop, Tomas comes in fully in his feelings. Okay. They had a whole moment. And this is probably the best I've seen Tomas since this show started, to be honest. He gave fire, he gave rebuttals. He was like, look, I've been working my butt off for Bill. And the fact that you just walked yourself up in here to play boss to me is like unacceptable. And I mean, the man is right, to be honest. We all know that nepotism always wins, but he was definitely there during the first health scare of Bill's. He's been holding it down when it came to that whole Lynette situation. Like, he didn't even leave Bill when he wanted to, right? Like, he had that whole offer with the other law firm, and they were going to make him partner. Of course, he was going to have to find the money to buy in, but that's like part of the game, right? And he turned that down to stay with Bill. Bill straight up told him, like, no, I don't want you to go. So I can understand it being kind of like sending him on a mind loop with the fact of seeing Naomi in this manager position. And he definitely told Bill. When Bill got back in that office, he straight up told him, like, yo, it's not okay for you to send Naomi in here to be my boss. Like, I'm fine with her working with the company, but she's not going to be my boss. And I heard him, but his grievances were heard for sure. And at least he stood up for himself. Now, I definitely want to see more of this. And how interesting would it be if Tomas ended up being like Naomi's second in the Madison case because Bill ends up not being able to do it with his medical issues? And now they have to play nice and work together. Like, that would be really interesting. I would like that storyline. And The Office looks good on Naomi. I'm sick of her taking all of her court cases in the Orphe Jeans, restaurant. Like, get my girl in Office. Jacob continues to get the supportive husband award when it comes to Naomi. Okay. Naomi finally told him that she has the BRCA gene, and he kept his word and said that he was going to support her no matter what. He even came with her to the doctor's appointment that she had with Dr. Monica McCormick. First of all, they need to get her office together because there were boxes in there. Like, I know that she's the head of Garland now and it was a quick transition, but dang, y'all could have at least, set up and furnished her office before she started taking patients in there. I mean, my goodness. But I digress. They had a very informative conversation and it was definitely needed. It was scary for me to hear, like, Naomi is convinced that her getting this double mastectomy is going to lower her chances to pretty much slim to none of getting breast cancer. But then Dr. McCormick brought up, like, well, you can get other cancers. You can get uterine cancer, in your fallopian tubes. Like, so what are you going to do? Get a full hysterectomy? And Naomi's like, well, yeah, like, let's talk about it. And Jacob's face dropped. It's obvious that he's still waiting for Naomi to get to whatever spot of, now I want to be a mom. Now I want to have kids so that they can grow their family, right? He even gave some non-convincing statement to Monica when it came to, oh yeah, we decided we're not going to grow our family. I'm good with it being just her and I. The lies. Okay, the lies. Because every time it's brought up that she's not having kids, your face drops, Jacob. You can be supportive with your words, but your face shows it all. Like, he is completely disappointed with this whole situation. And I think it's a testament to, it's not a man or a woman, but when you're in a relationship and you say something and people think like, "Oh, well, that's only because you haven't been with me, or because that time hasn't come yet." No, if a woman says that she doesn't want to have kids, she doesn't want to have kids. Like, Naomi is pushing 30. I'm in my 30s, okay? When you're in your 30s, you pretty much know what that is or not. And yes, things can change for sure, but she's married to the person that she wants to be married to. If she hasn't had that twinge of, I want to have a kid with him by now, it's pretty much not going to happen. And the fact that she's open to having this full hysterectomy really shows that she's not trying to have kids. I don't know. Y'all let me know in the comments. Is Jacob really going to stay with her if she gets this full hysterectomy? If kids are fully off the table, is he really fine with that? I don't think so. I don't think so. And it's going to create some serious problems moving forward. I put these two couples together because we're not spending that much time on them because there's not much to say, right? Martin and Smitty had their moment of, we still love each other and we're happy that we got over the hump. Smitty was reminiscing about all that stuff that happened when Martin was getting blackmailed by Kenny, and thinking like, oh my gosh, like we went through so much with that election. So I think that was a drop of foreshadowing of how bad it's going to get when Martin starts running for senator. Like, they still have to revisit all of that craziness. The fact that he stopped that press conference and all of that with no explanation. So that's definitely going to come up. They gave us that moment. Chelsea told Madison that she felt some type of way about her not having the BRCA gene, and Naomi did. And Madison explained to her that's just survivor's guilt. Like, she wants the best for her sister and she feels sad that her sister is going through this, but she can't dwell on that. The most that she can do is be supportive to her mom and her sister. And they had a little spicy moment in the episode. You know, it was cute that they took Naomi and Jacob's bedroom and changed the sheets and the, you know, and the wall and made it Chelsea and Madison's bedroom. Cute. Cute. They had a little time of R&R. Okay. Can we see the wedding? Is the wedding happening? Like, I would love to see more of that. Madison talked for a second to Shanice about how Leslie tried to take over their wedding planning a few episodes back. And I thought that was cute. Like, so we're alluding to the fact that the wedding plans are still happening. No, it's not. No, it's not. I don't see anything going on with them, and it's annoying. Like, let's ramp up the wedding stuff again. That's actually a happy note for everybody to be enjoying. Like, it's so heavy right now with the BRCA gene and Danny cheating and Bill, you know, on the verge of losing his life. Like, can we get some happy moments? So these two couples having a happy moment this week was nice. I enjoyed it. Smitty and Martin gotta hype it up though. Like, and so do Chelsea and Madison. Like, Chelsea was such a firecracker when she met Madison. Like, why are none of them having real fun? Where's the gay club? Like, they don't hang out as like the two gay couples. I mean, I'm just saying. You know, black couples love to hang together. Like, it's just y'all have a common ground. I don't know. They just seem like two old couples, and I'm like, why? They're young and they're popping. Can we see that, please? Let me know in the comments how y'all feel. Now, they gave us this weird moment with Kat and Eva that I did not appreciate. Okay. Kat goes over to Eva. She goes to her apartment, straight up goes to her apartment and tells her, like, hey, I'm here to thank you. Basically thanking her for telling Tomas that he should have talked to Kat before talking to Eva about their failed proposal, and how she wants him to have more male friends and to, you know, confide in her more than he goes to outside people. So thank you for respecting our relationship. And Eva's like, yeah, girl, I'm rooting for y'all. Like, you know, I'm happy with my man. They have a little kiki moment with that. Like, yeah, our men are fine. This is great. Cute, right? Of course, Kat ends it with the good disclaimer like, girl, don't get too excited. Just like I said in the hospital, we're not besties, but I just wanted to come and say thank you. Okay. If Kat wanted to check on Eva, that's understandable, right? But this is 2026. She could have FaceTimed Eva. In what world does Kat feel compelled to actually go to Eva's apartment? Like, that was just so unrealistic. And once again, here's Kat reaching out to Eva. Like, when are we going to have a balanced relationship with these two? Like, it's just constantly Kat going to Eva now. And I just don't like that. I want them to be on a level playing field, you know? I don't want their relationship to be Kat choking down her words to make Eva feel comfortable. And vice versa. Like, if they're going to become real friends or have a real relationship as sisters, they're going to have to accept each other as they are and grow that way. Right. So I would have appreciated the moment even more if it was just, hey girl, I didn't want to say it, but I just wanted to lay eyes on you and like make sure that you were good. Like I know we just got out of surgery. Like I just wanted to see you, make sure you were good. And that could be that. Bringing in the fact that she's thanking her about Tomas. What are you thanking her for not sleeping with your man again? No, Kat. No, Kat. That's not gonna work for me. That's not gonna work for me. Another interesting moment was with these two. So Kat goes to the office looking for Tomas and goes into Bill's office to see if he's in there. Of course he's not. You know, Kat's about to leave. And Bill's like, well, I'm trying to see why you are constantly disrespecting my wife. Like, why did you have to come at my wife again? And I love Kat. Kat was like, why am I respecting Haley? Like, what's the reason to respect Haley? And valid, okay? She just came in and broke up y'all marriage. Like, what are we giving her a number one home record in America award? Like, come on, girl. No, not the case. So she was like, no, Bill, that's not happening. And Bill got interesting. He started comparing Haley to Tomas. Okay. And it got I started understanding what he was saying. Like, I was like, y'all let me know in the comments, but it really did. What he was saying made sense. Like, it was like, oh, you know, Tomas is like an outsider. So is Haley. They both don't come from money backgrounds. And what really got me was when he compared him sleeping with Haley to Tomas sleeping with Eva, and straight up said that Haley sacrificed her relationship with Naomi to be with Bill, and Eva sacrificed her potential relationship with Kat when she slept with Tomas. Whoa. And Kat straight up said, like, no, Eva destroyed those possibilities before she slept with Tomas, which is fair, right? Like the whole reason why they can't be sisters is because you destroyed my parents' marriage. Like you played a huge part in that. You came into my parents' lives as a snake and then revealed to be my sister. Like, yeah, there were some deceitful moments before then, but we're not going to make it seem like Eva sleeping with Tomas was not a factor, Kat. It was a huge factor, okay? And you completely dismissing Tomas from that, but still holding this grudge with Eva, it doesn't make sense. And I don't agree with that. Like she does need to cut Tomas off, just like Bill don't need to be with Haley. Let's flip it around. Yeah, you want to compare relationships? Fine. Kat shouldn't be with Tomas and Bill shouldn't be with Haley, period. That just is what it is. But I found it quite interesting how Bill was like, Kat, you're not gonna come for me when you still on Tomas's arm. Whoa. Tell me how you really feel, Bill. Vanessa is messing up and Deanna ain't having it, okay? Vanessa took a box of Doug's things to Joey so that she can have some comfort while going through it, right? He convinces her, like, oh, I made these homemade scones. Go in the kitchen, get the scones. I'll open up the box and I got you, right? So he opens up the box and he starts going through it while she's gone. And he finds a letter that Doug left, and on the letter, on the front of the letter, it says, if I happen to die. Of course he don't tell her. Of course he says nothing. And she gets a call from Deanna to meet up at Orphe Jean's. So she straight up dips. She doesn't take the box. Ugh, Vanessa, she really is the worst. She doesn't take the box and say like, "Oh, I'm going to meet up with Deanna. This would be a great time for us to bond. Like, let me take the box and we can go through it together and we can have a good moment reminiscing about her father." No, she leaves the box. She hasn't even asked about the box ever since, right? But when she leaves, Joey reads the letter, and in the letter, it straight up says everything. How Joey has been blackmailing Doug, how he's been cleaning money through Vanessa's company, how he knew that he took care of Kenny, and if he was to have an untimely death, it was definitely Joey that did it, right? This is a typed letter with his letterhead on it. I was like, ugh. I mean, I know doctors have horrible handwriting, but why was it typed, right? Of course, in Joey fashion, he burns it. He straight up burns it and then tells Randy that he needs to go and find whatever other paperwork Doug may have in any safety deposit box, whatever, just find it, right? Because he's straight up paranoid now, as he should be. Because then we switch to Deanna, and Deanna is prepping for this dinner that she's going to have with the both of them. And she's giving this speech of how she knows that Joey killed her dad and how Vanessa should never trust him. And in that process, there's no one at the table. As a matter of fact, she's talking to the photo of Doug, right? And it was really interesting to see the other side. Every time she's talked to Doug until now, we've seen Doug with her, right? Like in full form. This time there's no one around and she's holding her phone with Doug's picture on it. So that shows this whole time she's been talking to a picture. All of this really is happening in her brain. And how scary is that? Like, oh, Deanna is losing it, but that's some real grief. She's going through some serious grief when it comes to Doug. They managed to get through the dinner, and Deanna is nice, kind of, she's tolerable. She still has her little jabs at Joey here and there, but she gets through the dinner. She gets out of Uptown and she has her tantrum. Like, he gave her some leftovers and she like throws them on the ground and stomps them, and she sees the picture of Doug on her phone again and she's like, "I did it for you. I hate him. I'm gonna take him down. It's gonna happen." Da 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 da. So Deanna is definitely off her rocker, right? But in good form. Like, she still is sticking to the plan, and that's the point. She is going to take Joey down. Like, she obviously knows. When I was on live, this past week, like this past Wednesday, I was definitely talking about how annoyed I was that the letter was typed and not written. And the people in the comments were like, "Well, what if Deanna was the one that typed it?" And if he typed it, hopefully it's saved on a computer or there's copies somewhere, right? Like, there's so many possibilities since the letter is typed. So that's good. That means that the letter can be found again, or even Deanna already read the letter, or Deanna wrote the letter. Either way, Deanna knows what went down. And hopefully she's got some real proof to back it up, right? At the end of the day, the deciding factor is Vanessa. Vanessa is gung ho on people knowing the side of Joey that she knows, which is Delulu, right? She thinks that Joey is this baking, cooking, loving older man, businessman that just happened to be on the wrong side of the tracks before she met him. Girl, bye. Girl, bye. Joey is not that, okay? He is definitely a bad man. And the fact that he has Randy on Deanna's case, trying to keep Deanna in check and trying to find what other paperwork Doug may have out there to cover up his name because he is the cause of Doug's unaliving, shows that Joey is not a good man. And unfortunately, Vanessa ain't trying to hear it. I hope that whatever proof Deanna has is strong enough to open Vanessa's eyes. Because if not, it's going to be enough for Joey to convince Vanessa to put Deanna away. And I'm talking in a padded room, hugging herself. Okay? Like, Deanna got to play this correctly in order to get Joey. But I got faith in my girl. Okay? She's smart. She's smart, she cunning, and she has a plan. So we definitely gonna see what happens. Let me know in the comments. Did you think that that dinner was going to go as well as it did? I thought maybe she was going to take the wine bottle and go up across Joey's head. I didn't know what Deanna was going to do, but it was entertaining. We got to see the articulates again, and I love when all three of them are on the screen. It's always a good time. And the articulates were like, hey, girl, you're in recovery. Like, are you coming on tour with us? And she was happy. She was like, yeah, I'm still a little hesitant because she still has to go through radiation. Vernon overheard and straight up called Devon and set up time, some studio time for them to get in the studio and start working on that album with some of Barbara's original vocals, right? So they're definitely about to get to work soon. Anita is almost done with all of the radiation and the cancer things, and so she's ready to get back to work. And the articulates are ready to be together fully again. And I do love that for them. I definitely do. Sharon alluded to the fact that she got a new man named Marvin. Okay, girl. Okay. We can have an articulate wedding. I'm here for that. We're happy that it's not Vernon. We're happy that it's not Vernon. But once again, where's Dante Green? Like, I'm going to keep barking it. I'm going to keep barking it because his story is important, right? And with them about to do an album with Barbara's vocals, we already know Leslie is going to try to elbow her way into that. So we've definitely got some drama coming on the horizons with the articulates for sure. But I'm looking forward to it. Anita was so beautiful on this stage, and I'm looking forward to her to be back in her element, right? Like, she's definitely gone through it with this cancer stuff. So I'm excited to see her fully back at health and just, doing her thing. This past week was definitely one for the books, okay? Hit me in the comments. Let me know how you felt about everything that I talked about, how you feel about this whole Danny and Bill situation. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share. And definitely look out for those notifications. I have been going live on Wednesdays and sometimes Fridays. I'm trying to get a set schedule, but I will be more consistent with that moving forward for sure. Thank you so much for watching. It's your girl, Vashti Denise, and I will catch you here every week. Beyond the Gates.